just want to walk away. You're always acting impulsive. I'm always obsessed with what I meant to say. And when I try to make sense of it all, I get lost in the moment and let the moment slip away.
The following is a presentation of the Belly Up Sports Media Network.
You are listening to the 1420 Sports Bar Podcast. 4 beer with a sports talk and a whole lot more. We are part of the Belly Up Sports Network. Listen in as Brent and Dave invite you to belly up to the bar with them to talk about everything in the world of sports, just like you would do at your favorite watering hole. It's sports, beer, and shenanigans, so belly up to the bar with us, grab a beverage, and let's get into it.
The 1420 Sports Bar Podcast, episode number 316. Tonight's show is brought to you by SeatGeek.com, the SeatGeek app. Use promo code 1420pod at SeatGeek.com today and save some $20 on your first purchase at SeatGeek today. And remember, we are part of the Belly Up Media Network. Go to bellyupsports.com and check out all of their great podcasts and articles throughout their website. Lots of stuff for your summer reading and summer listening throughout the day. We are joined tonight making his world debut, the summer intern and part of the 1420 family now for the summer, Andrew the Intern. Andrew, how are you doing tonight, my friend?
I'm good. Thank you guys so much for having me. I'm excited. I'm excited to participate.
There we go. It's we're a pretty relaxed group here at 1420 World Headquarters. Don't think too much, because I know we haven't in the 2.5 years we've been doing this. I finally got a night off and not being on the ball field doing what I love doing. But I sat down to watch the Yankee game, and they're down 13-0. Andrew, you're from New York. What's your thoughts? Dave loves when the Yankees lose, and he knows I hate it. What's your thoughts so far on this game tonight, or the Yankees in general?
I mean, obviously it's tough not having Judge in the lineup recently. But I mean, overall, Severino, who pitched tonight, has an over 7 ERA, which is not good. So hopefully look to improve what he's been the last few years. But I'm excited. If we get Judge back, hopefully we can make a run at things. So I'm excited.
You have much higher hopes, that youthful exuberance that I don't have. I'm more of a pessimistic Yankee fan than you are. Obviously, it's a
toe tendons don't heal quick, boys. Toe tendons do not heal quick. Like, you might have him back by September.
Well, speaking of back by September, Mike Trout is doing his annual trip to the IL. He went out. Before we
go there, I'm sorry. I just want to interject. I too had a day off yesterday, and then Kaylee had something to do, so it was just the boy and myself. And when it got dark,
let me guess, you got another immaculate inning.
No. I never realized this, but up here in Canada, we don't get 30 for 30 unless you've got the proper subscriptions, which I didn't. But now Disney Plus has all the 30 for 30s. I didn't realize that. So I was going through them with the boy last night, and we went through all the 30 for 30s. Which one do you want? He picked one called, I don't know if you're familiar with it, 4 Days in October. And
yeah, that was the one with the Red Sox 2004, the bloody sock, the blah, blah, blah. I don't want
coming back from 3-0. He loved it. He goes, that was great, because he's a bit of because he's a Jays fan, so that's why he hates the Yankees.
That's to me. That's when eventually the rivalry had to die a little bit. Andrew, you might be able to. Obviously, you weren't very. I don't know if you even alive then when that all went down. But when the rivalry was over between the Red Sox and the Yankees. 2004, they came back from 3-0, and the rivalry has never been the same since. Because you can only beat up on your little brother so much, and eventually the little brother pushes back, and that's what happened with the Red Sox. Hey, Andrew?
Yeah, I mean, of recent, I feel like it's been pretty split. Obviously, the last few years, the Yankees have been better. But I mean, it's always been fun to watch that rivalry. Personally, I think that's one of the best rivalries in all of sports. So kind of just experiencing that as a Yankees fan has always been awesome. So yeah.
And the
Yeah,
cities are so close and so old, and they hate each other in all sports, which just lends to it. It's cool, and as my son, who wasn't born at that time, it was cool for him to watch and him recognizing players on it. It was a
Yeah,
fun watch
I
for him.
remember back watching that 2004, and it was 3-1, and it was 3-0, and then Dave Roberts stole the base, and wow, we all know the whole story. But I when it went to got to 3-2, I said I don't know who's going to win Game 3, but or Game 6, but I will tell you who's going to win Game 7. And the Red Sox just blew them out in Game 7. I think it was 10-3 or 10-4 in that, and then the rest is history. The Red Sox finally won the World Series in the first time in 10,000 years, I think it was, whatever it was. They still talk about it a lot more. We don't talk about it in Yankee land very much, but this week it's been another tough one for Mike Trout. He made his annual appearance on the injured list. Every year, it seems no matter what, the guy just can't stay healthy. It's not his fault. It's just body makeup, genetics, whatever you want to say. It looked like a rather harmless play that happened on Monday night against San Diego, 8th inning, I think it was. He swung through a pitch or fouled it off, doesn't much matter. A broken hamate bone. He's out for 4 to 8, which usually in baseball term means 10 weeks by the time you go through the rehab. So he's going to miss the entire months of July and August. Dave, is this guy just jinxed, or is this just part of what he is?
It's at this point of his career, he's been in the league for what 12, 13 years now, and every other year he has a significant chunk on the injured list. It is what he is. And maybe it's because he plays so hard, he is so strong that his body can't, his tendons and his bones can't handle the muscle mass and reflexes. I don't know.
You and I don't have that problem very much, Dave. The muscle mass, everything else, no.
I do not know, and it's just, it is what it is, and I feel bad for him now. I'd feel worse for him if he was playing for, say, the Jays or San Francisco, if he was chasing a ring someplace. But he made his bed. He can lie in that cesspool of a franchise.
Andrew, is that the thing? Like Trout, he's laid himself out there in Anaheim, in Los Angeles, sunny California, and he signed that 10, 12-year contract, whatever it is, for 40 plus million bucks a year, highest paid player in baseball, per the AAV and all that stuff. Is it a thing where like he's just out there, nobody cares, and like, yeah, he got hurt again? Like we're like, no shit.
Yeah, I mean, I think the Angels are more cursed, first of all, than Trout is, because they've had two of the best players in baseball the last few years, and they haven't even made the playoffs. So it's been a real shame. And obviously Trout being one of probably the best baseball player of my generation, and to not see him play in the playoffs, it sucks, So haven't gotten the chance to really watch him in the playoffs yet. And obviously Shohei too, who left the game yesterday also. So the injury bug's starting to catch up with them, which is not a good sign, especially because they were playing good baseball. So
yeah, they were licking the jar of a wild card spot when he went down. I mean, it's you can pretty much call it over now. They're 44 and 42 when he went down. Funny, I don't know what they're doing tonight, because obviously when Trout's out and Ohtani's not playing, why would you ever tune into the Anaheim Angels game? One of those things. So you got to think like, man, oh man, at what point do the Anaheim Angels maybe knock on the door, Dave, of Mike Trout and say, hey, would you mind maybe moving on so we can move on as well?
Oh, I would say like, here's my 4 teams. Well, we weren't going to ask you. Here's the 4. You can trade me to any one of these 4 tomorrow. I don't care. I want out of here, because there's no way Shohei's sticking around, and that's the only reason. And we can say, sure, they're licking the jar, but come on now. They're not going to get a wild card. Houston's catching fire. They're what, 9-1 in their last 10. Houston's the best team in the American League. We all know it. They're going to catch Texas.
I hate your guts right now, but
Texas is going to hang on. Maybe it's going to be between Texas, the Yankees, and the Orioles.
Toronto.
For a while. Rays are going to be a division champ, right?
Yeah.
But for that wild card race, it's going to be 3 teams out of the AL East and Texas, and that's just the way it's going to be. And we can all think this is nice that Anaheim's making a run here. They're shit. They got 2 superstars and that's it. And and I blame the owner. I hate that fucking owner. Like
Artie Marino.
Artie Marino, I think. Yeah, I believe that's his name. Like he has the two all world talents and nothing else. And I guess if that's how he wants to run his franchise, that's how he wants to run his franchise. But don't expect me to feel sorry for the Angels.
Andrew, is this a bit of a blessing for the Angels ownership to say, you know what? Well, we gave it a go. Trout got hurt again. Maybe we can get some prospects for Ohtani because his contract, his 1 year deal's up this year at $37 million, whatever he's making. Is this kind of a blessing for Angels ownership, who's notoriously not very good? Is this one of those things like, oh, thank God, now we can actually look at trading Ohtani come the August deadline and getting some prospects, getting some guys, getting some arms, and try to regroup again? Because being mired in mediocrity is the worst thing you can have for a sports franchise. And this might be the blessing in disguise a little bit that Trout went down at the right time, where they're not in a playoff spot, and it's not August, it's July, where it's like, you know what? We can trade him now, and nobody can really besmirch us at all and say, you know what, goodbye.
I mean, I believe so, yeah, because they're kind of in this spot right now where they are mediocre, and especially with Trout being out for 8 to 10 weeks, that's a chunk of time. That's a lot of games. So you're gonna have to assume that they're not gonna play well during that span. So I think obviously, now that Shohei's going to leave probably in free agency, he's going to be a free agent. He's going to be owed a lot of money. I think getting prospects and just getting young talent would be the right idea, especially for where they're at right now.
Yeah, it's great. Dave, is this just another we talk about Trout a lot on this show. I don't know why. I haven't seen the guy play in his 15 years career. I haven't seen him play 10 times, I don't think. There's not a sexy team by any means. And it's and I'm sure, Andrew, you're the way you are out on the East Coast there, you're like, I'm in bed by the time the game starts, right out there. So it's one of those situations, Dave. But is Mike Trout's legacy taking more of a beating year after year by more games he misses? Because all you hear is about his lifetime WAR and his this and that, and he's one of the greatest ever. He's the next Mickey Mantle, blah blah blah. But at the end of the day, what's he done?
Aside from winning multiple MVPs and being one of the best players in baseball, like, I don't know what else you can do. We crack on guys all the time for chasing the money and chasing rings, but then when a guy makes a commitment to a franchise and that franchise stinks, now his legacy is tarnished. It's I understand exactly what you're saying, but I don't think we can hold it against Trout for for playing an extremely high level of baseball for 15 years now and having shitty ownership. Like, when he got that chance on his second contract, he should have walked if winning, but then people would have called him a Kevin Durant chasing a ring, right? And so I don't know where that lands, where we can feel good for a guy going to a competitive franchise or being true to the team that drafted him and developed him. So back to your question, if he retires tomorrow, he's a Hall of Famer.
You think so?
No doubt. Yeah. Zero doubt.
I think he's a Hauler really good right now, but he hasn't. I think a Hall of, like, there. Okay, I'll give you a Hall of Fame, but he's not at that next level. Like, you have to win a little bit, and being in a below 500 career winning record, and it's not his fault. And baseball is one of those sports where you can't. It's an individual. It's a team sport, but individualistic accomplishments matter so much more. But eventually, you have to. One of your biggest abilities is availability, and he hasn't been able to do that at all, right? And that's a big knock on Trout. Like, he did it again this year.
When you say availability, like, he's played more games than he's missed. Like, easy now. It seems like every other year.
Geez, yeah. If you play 82, it's more than you play. That's a ridiculous statement.
By you.
No, it's not. Like, he played 82 games that he played. So if he played one more than half, that's more than he missed.
Okay, I'm gonna just look up his games played, because I would like to really say you're wrong instead of thinking you're wrong.
Andrew, in your age demographic, how old are you?
I'm 19.
19 years old. Mike Trout's been playing for 12, 13 years of your life.
Yeah.
Is he like one of like in your age group, you played whatever little league or whatever it was? Is he the guy that kids looked up to around New York State?
I
He's from
mean,
Philly, I think, right? Correct.
yeah, but I think for me, Mike Trout has been, for my generation at least, the best player in baseball. I think everybody would say that. I think more now people love Ohtani and especially New York Judge, but I think Trout has always been looked at as the best player. Um, it's a shame that he just hasn't been able to stay on the field, obviously. But people do look at him as like our generation's best player. So yeah.
I mean, I could be wrong. I mean, it's just old man get off my lawn and read my cane at the front step and everything else. But I don't know. I just think that the guy hasn't done enough to say he's done anything. And then you think about it, like this year now, like now with him being hurt, I mean, Ohtani's going to get a huge chunk of change no matter what. Like when it's all said and done. Like I've talked about Ohtani probably getting, he could very well get $1 billion from some owners. He's a $40 million pitcher, and he's probably going to be if Judge's a $40 million hitter, Ohtani's all that. So is he $80 million a year? Who knows, right? So is there a B in front of Ohtani's name? Ohtani could probably sign for 40, and his endorsements are going to be higher than whatever he's going to make annually, regardless. But with Ohtani or sorry, with Dave, with Trout being out of the lineup, Ohtani's numbers are going to go down now.
Oh, for sure.
Because now they can
protection.
pitch around him, and he won't see a strike. He'll see two good pitches a game. He won't be, if he don't take advantage of those two pitches, which he will because he's great. His numbers are going to take a bit of a beating. I don't think it will matter when it comes to somebody signing to a contract. But Dave, is this going to hurt Ohtani's?
Absolutely not.
WAR, but his WAR and
it will hurt his
stats,
numbers.
Everything else.
Yeah. I think for sure it's going to hurt his hitting numbers, but it's going to have no effect on where he goes and how much he signs for in the offseason.
Is this the nail in the coffin? Because the Angels were sticking. They said we want to sign him. We want to sign him. Andrew, is this the nail in the coffin for Ohtani to be leaving the Angels? Because he goes, I can't rely on Mike Trout to stay healthy next year, the year after that, or the year after that. Is this the nail in the coffin in the contract world for Ohtani and the Angels?
I mean, it has to be. I think he's 30 already. He's obviously going to get paid. You've heard teams like the Mets, the Yankees, obviously the Dodgers, all interested in. It's time for him to go to a contender. He's one of the best players, arguably the best player in baseball right now. So I think it would be smart for him to want to leave. So I think now that Trout got hurt and now that the Angels' playoff hopes are kind of dead, I think this would be it. Yeah.
Dave, would you, if you were Artie Moreno, would you grab Ohtani? Would you grab Mike Trout tomorrow and say, listen, I can afford to pay one of you?
Well, he's already paying Mike Trout, no?
What do you want to do here?
Yeah. I would say up yours, Artie. You know, you've had both of us for 5 years now, and you've done jack shit.
Nothing.
Yeah. So excuse me if I want to speak bluntly here, but you're full of fucking shit. It's been nice knowing you, Shohei.
There's a good chance he could probably afford to pay both of them.
Well, you think? Of course.
But still not win.
But still not win. So like to what end? Like I wouldn't. I don't trust, like, as an Angels fan, as an Angels fan, as Trout, as Ohtani. What has he showed me? What has he showed me? And you know, the only reason Ohtani's there is Ohtani chose the Angels. Excuse me. He wanted to be on the West Coast. He wanted to do this, and the Angels were one of the few teams that were going to allow him to pitch and bat. But now everybody knows he can do it. The Angels, you've served your purpose. It's time for Ohtani to look after for Ohtani.
Andrew, if you're Artie Moreno, do you go to Trout and say we want to trade you right now because we need business wise, we need to sign Ohtani? What's the better business move for the Angels? Is it to sign Ohtani or keep Trout?
I mean, I was gonna say get rid of both of them because right now they're in a spot where they've been mediocre for too long, and they just don't have enough talent on their team. Their pitching's not great. The rest of their lineup's been better, obviously, but I just think they're in a spot right now where it doesn't make sense to be paying both them if they're just going to be mediocre like they have been. So maybe just starting a little bit of a rebuild would be the right move, and we've seen that work with teams. Obviously, the Marlins are playing well right now. The Orioles are playing well. They're ahead of schedule. So I mean, it works. So maybe they just have to trust that, and I think they should.
Dave, are we going to see this in baseball a lot? We talked about, I can't remember. We talked so much in this damn show about this and that and everything else. But are you going to see a point where owners are you know what? You look at the Reds who are on fire right now. You look at the Orioles. You look at Tampa. You look at Pittsburgh. You look at the Arizona Diamondbacks, and then you have one player who's going to probably command $60 million or $70 million, whatever it might be. Is Ohtani going to price himself out, or is there going to be that one owner that goes, I'm going to give him $1 billion?
I don't know, because it's
an odd situation because there's teams right now that aren't spending anything that are in contention.
But I think the sun is shining on a lot of dogs' asses right now, and I'm talking about Cincinnati. I'm talking about the Diamondbacks. It's not going to surprise me if both those teams miss the playoffs, because I'm happy for the fan base, but those teams aren't that good, and I think in the league right now, there's a lot of shitty teams. And if a better shitty team keeps beating shittier teams, then you're going to have a decent record every now and then.
I don't know how that math equation works. Shitty teams beat shitty teams beat that shittier team. And I don't know how that math works, but it makes, I know what you're saying.
But it's a bunch of middling thing. Like, look at both the central divisions, AL Central and NL Central. Like, I think my kids team can go out there and go 500.
Well, Jasper throwing immaculate innings. Why wouldn't it? Like, it's one of those things.
Exactly. But, we got to get him up to 60 feet before we challenge him on that one.
The 48-footer, so we ain't going to cut her, eh?
A little bit different at this stage. But I can't think anyone is actually taking any of those teams you just mentioned, aside from the Rays, as a serious World Series contender. I really don't think so.
Do you, Andrew?
I mean, I think when I look at the Diamondbacks, it's interesting because their lineup's been great. They have a lot of talent, obviously, with Corbin Carroll.
Unreal.
Probably going to be Rookie of the Year. Is MVP candidate right now. So, but I don't know. Like, the Reds, they're just exciting, but I don't think they're a great baseball team. Same with the Orioles, kind of. They're good, but I don't think they have it yet.
Well, they're stomping our Yankees right now, 14-0. One of those deals right now, man. It's absolutely abysmal. Like, you wonder when these owners are finally going to wake up and go, "What's the point of spending all this money if we're not going to win?" It's rare that the highest paid payroll team wins. Like, you wonder.
But I still think like that your favorites have got to be, in my mind, the Astros, and in the National League, and
to be the man, you got to be the man. Ric Flair said so.
Yeah, the Astros and the Braves. In my mind, those are the two best teams in the leagues, even though the records of the Astros don't show it. Tampa Bay always finds a way to analytic themselves out of the games come playoffs. I think if Manoah comes back for the Jays, and if they get Hyun-Jin Ryu back, and he can give them quality innings, I think the Jays might be a dark horse. The Orioles have, they showed potential last year, and if they can hold on, maybe them. But otherwise, I don't know.
Middle of next season, I'll ask you guys this, and we'll get off this topic here. At the middle of next season, who's more likely to be a Los Angeles Angel? Mike Trout or Shohei Ohtani?
Mike Trout.
Without a doubt, 100%, because Trout's already signed for a couple years, right? Ohtani's a free agent, and if winning's important to him, then there's no chance he's staying in Anaheim. No chance.
I think they try to move on from Trout. I really do. Try to find a way to send him to somewhere in close, like Philadelphia or something. They're already paying $300 million for a shitty team. Send him closer to home. Be a DH. Finish your career. See you later. I think there's a way they try to get to distance himself away from a guy who's been hurt a lot. I really do. I really do.
Well, we'll see next year.
Because the money they make off of Ohtani is way more than they're going to make off Mike Trout in the last 4 years of his career.
Oh yeah.
But what's important? But what's important to Shohei, though, right? That's what it's going to come down to, because we're going to build a winner around you. That's what you told Mike Trout for the last 10 fucking years.
Well, the thing is, you're
liar.
You're paying $80 million a year for one guy, not 40.
I don't think it's about money anymore. Like, because Shohei, no matter what, where he goes,
his endorsements are going to be beyond,
right? Like, and I think to cement a legacy, because he did come in as an older player, kind of, excuse me, kind of the same age as Judge when he hit his free agent year, and so he has to grab the bag now. This is his big one, and if he wants to be the highest paid player in baseball, I wouldn't be surprised if he maybe signed a 5-year for $45 million a year just so he can re-up and when the market readjusts and he won't be the highest paid player. It's going to be the
most scrutinized, publicized, pressurized contract in sport, not just in sports history, when it's all said and done. Like that money's going to get, I still think it's getting to $1 billion. I really do. But it's going to be split, because how many years of pitching does he have left compared to how many years of just hitting? I think you might be hearing the B word for the first time ever. I really do. Like it's
not impossible.
Yeah. I mean, but I think if you were younger, then maybe you get $1 billion. I think they're looking at $607 million right now, but I don't know about $1 billion just yet.
Jeez, that's a lot of money. It's like podcast money, that is.
I just want to touch before we cut. First of all, Mike Trout's only 31. I thought he was 34, 35. I did look it up.
He's got 5 years left of his career, I would think.
So between 2012 and 2019, he played 114 games was the lowest, but he played 140 and up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times. So he wasn't a Band-Aid in his first 8 years in the league. Yeah. And then 2020, only 53. I think that's the year he was hurt.
That's the COVID year too, though, right?
Well, I think 21 was the COVID year.
No, 20's COVID, where they shut everything down.
Oh, okay. And then 21, only 36 games. And then last year, 119.
Because there was a spinal issue or something. There was something with his back or something.
It was something severe. So
he comes up with some kinds of something all the time.
Stop it now. I just finished proving to you that he's not a Band-Aid.
He's not playing tonight.
Fucking guy. You're wrong. Like, he is quite durable just the last couple of years. But which would raise eyebrows for a team that does want to take him. Like, now he's getting older. He has played so hard for so long. Maybe now, even at the age of 31, his body's breaking down a bit. Even though baseball players, their best years as a general rule are from 28 to 34, right? As a hitter.
I don't know. They'd be in their best interest to trade him to the
Yankees,
Oakland A's, and
Yankees.
He can be no. I don't want him in the Yankee. He can be the face of the Las Vegas A's.
He'd be the best player in the pinstripes they've had since fucking Bernie Williams.
Jesus Christ. I don't know why we talk twice a week, but anyways, the 1420 Sports Bar Podcast, 4 beer sports talk and a whole lot more. This segment's brought to you by SeatGeek.com, the SeatGeek app. Use promo code 1420pod at SeatGeek.com today and save yourself $20 on your first purchase for your baseball tickets, Taylor Swift tickets, or whatever you want to go to this summer. Mike Trout tickets.
When did you start hating on Bernie Williams?
I love Bernie Williams.
Well, so do I. So
I thought Bernie was the best one of the bunch. I really did. I thought Bernie was the best one of the bunch.
My point.
Yeah.
So what's wrong with another Bernie Williams?
I don't know. I just
and Trout's from New Jersey. That was his sidebar I picked up when I looked at games. So
closer to Philly, I think.
Yeah.
I just read New Jersey.
Anyways, 1420 Sports Bar Podcast, 4 beer sports talk and a whole lot more.
You just listened to the 1420 Sports Bar Podcast. 4 beer with sports talk and a whole lot more. We are part of the Belly Up Media Network. Let's get into it.